I'm still able to like rewind on the previous stream.
Well, it's saved.
Hopefully, if I refresh, I don't know what'll happen. So
I can never download a stream until like the day later. Do you guys ever have that?
yeah, it takes a while. To
Sometimes,
process.
Yeah, because of processing.
Okay. Let me just put in, because it's got the last one in here was the stream I did with Adam. So let me just put in the new thumbnail so it doesn't try and show that. Oh, come on, open up. Damn it, how annoying is that fucking shit. That's ridiculous.
I don't know why I didn't think to say, as someone who's been hit by Warner Brothers multiple times, I don't know why it didn't click in my brain to be like, Cecil, stop.
I had no idea that they like shut it down. I just thought, he'll probably get hit with a copyright flag. I didn't know they could do that. Just
I didn't.
Shut the damn thing on.
I didn't either. First time it's happened to me, but
I don't think
live and learn.
I think it just took it down, right?
Crazy.
All right, cool. We got the new thumbnail in, and I'll fix the fucking tags and stuff later.
Oh, there we go. Superman stream part 2.
Cool. All right.
Part 2.
Are we going somehow? No.
You're live.
Oh, we're live.
Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
We're not?
There we go.
Are we?
Yeah.
It's really hard to know. Who knows?
I'm seeing your screen and everything.
All right, cool.
Screen sharing.
All right, sweet. Then I did it the old-fashioned way. And
I don't see you. I just see your
16 watching. You're live.
Cool. There we go.
Hey,
Boom.
Tyler.
James Gunn tried to shut us down. But
Sorry about that, guys. All
We're
right.
back.
Trailer again.
Fuck you, James Gunn.
Restore the Snyderverse. Restore the
God damn it.
Snyder wouldn't have taken down our screen.
Yep, exactly.
He wouldn't have done it.
I'm changing sides.
I will find you, James Gunn.
All right, so
I don't know who James Gunn's mom is, but he better not have the same last name as my mom, because I'm gonna kill him.
Why'd you say that name?
Martha.
Right. So how far did we get with who got to talk about their thoughts on the trailer so far?
It was I was teeing it up for a James Gunn puff piece home run, and then it just freaking
Sorry,
it petered right out. That's
All
okay.
Right. So you want to continue, or should we move on to Tony?
I'll do the quick version of it,
right,
and that is that James Gunn is really strong with characters. As cliche as a YouTuber saying that in a review sounds, I reserve that for people like James Gunn, because oh my god, I freaking love all of his movies because of you get immersed into the characters and their eccentricities, and I think he's going to carry that forward to Superman. I could tell just by the trailer. The trailer was like, oh my god, you got Anthony Carrigan playing what's the character's name that he's playing? Have you seen Barry, the show Barry with
Oh yeah, he's playing Metamorpho.
Metamorpho, yeah. He,
like
oh my god! If
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's playing Metamorpho.
Yeah, Come on, get with the program, Adam. If you guys have seen Barry with freaking Bill, is it Bill Hader?
Bill Hader, yeah.
Oh my god, I've watched that show so many times just because of characters like freaking Anthony Carrigan, who plays this character Hank that has no eyebrows. Oh my god, it's awesome. Next, go ahead.
Tony, what are your overall thoughts on the trailer?
We just shot to Tony just sitting there like, what the fuck?
I did like this.
You guys are all in different spots for me now. So
I enjoy the trailer. It's hard for me to get excited for like superhero stuff these days. As much as I love superheroes, I'm not like one of those guys where it's like all awful or anything. But it's been hard to keep up with superhero stuff recently. Like I'm a big Superman guy. I did not watch that new show because I thought it was connected to Supergirl, and I tapped out of Supergirl like 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
After Crisis, I tapped out of all those shows.
Yeah, me too.
But I hear the new show is good and it's mostly self-contained, so I might go back and check it out. No, I thought the trailer was fine. It has a lot of stuff that I've always wanted to see, like him being part of a bigger world. I like that they're going with the new Justice League that Maxwell Lord is in charge of, not whatever the hell Pedro Pascal was playing in that piece of shit Wonder Woman, like the real Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
So people were criticizing like the Justice League suits, and I'm like, they're like, why don't they look like their actual suits? That's not accurate. I'm like, no, I like the idea that they're part of this corporate thing, so they have to have uniforms.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll like spin out and they'll have their own outfits later on. I'm not. I like David Cornsweet. I saw him in Pearl and Twisters. I thought he was fine. I'm not crazy about his suit too much. I like the logo. I like the colors. They're trying to match that new 52 look, which I guess they wanted to represent the one that looks like in the comics. So if you like the movie, you'll buy the comics and he'll look similar. I'm guessing that's what they went through there. The cast is solid. I like that he fights a giant monster. People forget that sometimes Superman just fights giant monsters. Like I said earlier, even Man of Steel, he fought a Decepticon for no reason.
Well, that's a James Gunn signature too. The big monster at the end of
a big giant monster. It's fine. As far as James Gunn goes, I like James Gunn. I'm not like the biggest James Gunn guy, which is funny when I fight with Snyderverse people and they're like, "Oh, you're just a typical James Gunn lover," and I'm like, "Hey, it's all right." Like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is great. 2 is okay. I saw 3 once and I thought it was okay.
What about Slither? Slither seems like a movie you love.
Slither's fun. And I really like Super. And
Super's amazing.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of these guys are like, he's going to make it all kid-friendly. Like, no, he can do dark stuff, but still have humor. He did it with Super, Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad.
He did it way back in the day a lot. He had some crazy shit.
And, of course, he's a trauma guy, and I'm friends with Lloyd Kaufman, so...
hang on, wait. Let me see if okay. You found it, okay.
And you know I'm friends with Lloyd Kaufman because he came on my show. He's on my show that you can watch. Watch the Trauma episode.
Holy shit.
No, everything in the movie is looking good. My only concern is, will audiences show up for, like, normal people who aren't paying attention to the internet? Like, are they just burnt out? Are they just not going to see it, even if it's good? There's plenty of great comic book movies that came out that no one saw, like Dredd. Dredd was great.
Oh my God,
Dredd's
amazing.
Dredd's great, yeah.
I've watched it so many times.
I agree with you with Nathan Fillion. I would have loved him as a Green Lantern 15 years ago, not now. Okay, Guy Gardner is supposed to have a bowl cut, but not like that. It's supposed to be shaved around the side. So it's the fact that they went halfway accurate and then just didn't do it bothers me. I like Hawkgirl's in it. I always like the Hawkgirl character more than Hawkman. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, it looks solid. Nothing really looks terrible in it. The funniest thing, though, is that 2 years ago, me and Adam talked about the League of Super Pets movie. And we joked that Ace the Bat Hound was a different breed of dog. And actually, I joked in my Guardians of the Galaxy 3 review that James Gunn made the dog a girl instead of a boy. And I joked about them switching the breed or switching the gender of the dog and taking it too seriously. That was a joke. It turns out people are doing that for real. And I got into a fight with one of them because I accused them of stealing my bit. But then he admitted that it's not a bit. He genuinely cares that they changed the breed of the dog.
Yeah, you called it species swapping, didn't you?
Yeah. I was like, species. It was something stupid. But I'm like, wait, people are doing this for real? I'm like, that was a joke I was doing. Yeah, Crypto does look weird because he doesn't look like the right dog.
Not my Crypto. Not my crypto.
And that is why I will be boycotting it. But no, the fact that he's even using crypto, I kind of like that. I like that they showed him bleeding and stuff because a lot of people are like, he's going to make it all happy and cheery. And I'm like, it's not really James Gunn. He has fun and stuff, but he'll still put his characters through some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Him using crypto's genius because it's going to bring in a whole new market of people that are, kids are going to want to watch it. Women are going to want to watch it because women love dogs.
This time he's not voiced by The Rock, so they're going to love it.
Thank God.
Like I said, I'm going to check it out. It's going to be a fun time, I hope. If it ends up sucking, who cares? It'll just be another bad one.
Yeah,
but I mean, if it's great, I hope it's great.
Isn't Crypto going to be voiced by Mark Wahlberg?
I hope so. My only other issue.
Oh my God!
Look, I just
take you back to the Forces of Solitude, okay?
Yeah.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah, say hi to your mother.
I don't think they needed to use.
Say hi to Mom, Pa.
I don't think they needed to use the John Williams theme. One of the few things I like about Man of Steel is that it came up with its own theme. I'm fine that they're using it, but I would have liked if it had its own little stamp. Because even like the farm looks different for the first time. All the farms look the same. He's using the crystal stuff again, which is pretty much in the comics now.
Yeah.
That was taken from the movie, and they're like, he's just a big crystal guy now. He has a crystal person. He checks his auras. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I like what he's doing with it. And I like that the curl's back.
Yeah, the spit curl. It's definitely
there you go.
awesome.
There you go. It's back.
Adam,
Yeah.
did you already give your thoughts on the trailer overall?
I did not. No,
Okay,
thank you.
go for it.
I was just letting you introduce me a little bit more with pageantry, but I guess that's fine. Adam. Okay.
Adam of Adam Does Movies.
Soccer style kicker.
Subscribe to Adam Does Movies. Listen, seriously, the reason you guys all think this trailer looks good is because Zack Snyder's the blueprint, and every single shot in this trailer was done by him. All right, it's all been stolen.
Yep, 100%.
No, but I do think it looks good. I'm a big James Gunn guy. I like all of his movies pretty much, and he does know characters, and he knows how to sell drama. I don't know if people remember, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was not a walk through a fucking garden of flowers. That movie was depressing.
Yep.
Pretty much all the way through. And it made you feel bad for a CG rocket. Like, I was truly, genuinely concerned he was going to die, and I was going to be sad about it. But no, very, very emotional and very good. And that's what he's going to bring to Superman, I have no doubt. I also have a thought that a lot of the crazy shots in this trailer are a montage, and we're really not going to see a lot of that. The gardener guy that you brought up, whatever the hell his name is, Nathan Fillion's character, I think that that's maybe 20% of that whole scene. That's just my guess, is that the giant kaiju, hot girl, all that stuff is probably going to be kind of establishing Superman, because from what I read, this is already after the fact that he's touched down and he's been there for many years and he's established.
Yeah.
So the best way to show an establishing character is a bunch of cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm kind of hoping I'm right, because that's a lot otherwise to tackle in a less, I think he said it was less than 2 hours long. So
That's nice.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I have a little bit more to say about it once we get Chris's thoughts too. So Chris, what are your thoughts?
Oh wait, one last thing.
Please.
Nicholas Hoult has won me over so bad over the years. When he first came to the scene with, I think the first time I saw him was one of the X-Men movies, X-Men Origins or some shit, or First Class. He was Beast, and I did not like him as Beast. Everything since though, he sucked. Everything he's been great in. And especially The Great, the TV series, he's phenomenal.
Oh my God, I love that show.
So good. It's brilliant. And I'm sad that it's done after 3 seasons, but he's going to be amazing as Lex Luthor. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
So I'm very optimistic for this film.
Well, I hope he is. Real quick, Guardians of the Galaxy 3's problem was I wasn't too into the villain because he wasn't able to kill a raccoon. And 2 weeks after I saw the movie, I ran over a raccoon. I went, not that fucking hard. What the hell was that in that movie?
Did the raccoon pull out double guns though and spin around and shoot at you?
Look, it was foggy, and I was up in the mountains. So if he had guns, he didn't have time to pull it out. But
you didn't have time to react.
Literally, I ran over that raccoon. I felt bad about it. Then I was just like, what was that guy's problem? It took 5 seconds. I wasn't even trying.
Tony not realizing he just started his villain arc. It's gonna be good.
Did you also stomp on the stick the raccoon was carrying? Because then you killed 2 of them. All right, so Chris, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
I love the trailer. There's a lot going on, whether or not it's going to be a bloated, too many characters type of movie. Who knows? We'll have to see. It's been fascinating to watch the discourse with all the laugh reacts from people being Buzz Killingtons, for people that are genuinely excited. You'll go to any article, whatever, on Facebook, and as soon as it's a photo of Corin Swen, it's automatic laugh reacts. And you go to the comments, and people are like, "Hey, this looks great. This makes me feel good." People laugh react. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you?
So annoying.
Get your fucking head checked, man. So I love the palette of it. It looks like Silver Age Superman. It just looks fun. But I also love the fact that they start with a heavy theme of what the hell has happened to him, who has done this to him. Obviously, I'm a sucker for dogs, so I love the inclusion of Crypto, and I don't mind that it's a different breeded dog. I'm very protective over Pruitt Taylor Vince, who's playing Park Kent, because he's a friend of mine. I've been in this dude's apartment and watched his cat use his Emmy as a scratching post.
Oh, that's cool.
When it was announced he was Park Kent, I'm like, that's because he's such a good character actor. I'm not being biased, but I'd seen his stuff before I met him, and I always remember him in Constantine. He's been in Identity, and he's one of those actors where you're like, oh, I don't know his name, but I've seen him in everything.
Yeah,
he's in Identity. Oh, that's cool. That's a jam. Yeah. I like that movie.
That's a great movie. So I think he's going to make a great Park Kent. I think Corin Sweat's a great choice. I'm not exactly on board with the suit. James Gunn has said, it's supposed to be like his way of like dressing up as like a professional wrestler so he doesn't scare kids. I'm like, okay, writing standpoint, I get it, but like to be taken a bit more seriously, like whether or not he gets a new suit at the end, I don't know. So I think it's going to be a damn good time. But also like, little things here and there, like Fillion, like with his design choice, with the haircut and stuff like that. But obviously, fighting a giant kaiju, like you said, that happens in the comics, and people are like, "That's not my Superman." It's like, well, you read a comic or two, and it does happen. So I think I just want it to do well. Like with anything, you just want it to do well and have it well received. And look, with anything like this, it's gonna cause immediate negative discourse, no matter what. And it's just the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. But I think he'll do a fine job as Superman. And I think, obviously, what Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and making you have pathos for pixelated animals, like I remember weeping. Like, yeah, my wife and I were crying with Rocket and his friends. That was brutal. So seeing what Gunn can do, the frame store, what they can do with their beautiful animation, I'm like, please don't fucking kill Crypto.
No,
like,
I don't,
Oh God.
He's based on his own dog. I don't think Gunn would do that. Not yet, anyway.
No. So look, I loved it. There was a lot to like unpack, digest, and I am worried that it could be too bloated, but we'll see.
So yeah, I have some more to talk about here, but am I wrong in thinking he looks like Chris Kattan here? Am I crazy?
Yeah, he does.
I do see that. I do see
Little
that.
bit.
I have
What is love?
Yeah, exactly.
I literally just shot a review for that for my friend's channel. So now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, that is Chris Kattan.
Yeah. So that's been fucking with me ever since seeing that shot. But okay, so the couple things, yeah. So you mentioned it, Chris. Actually, the whole Trunks thing was because Corn Sweat said that to Gunn about he wanted the trunks on the outside because it made him look more like a wrestler, and kids like wrestling and stuff. So I thought that was a cool reason that Gunn was like, because apparently he and Zack Snyder had backs and forths about the trunks, and Snyder told him, he's like, yeah, we tried dozens of iterations and it just never looked right to me. And then apparently Corn Sweat kind of turned Gunn around with that statement, which I think is really cool. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the bad guy. Right. So the bad guy, that the only kind of images we've gotten, I don't think we've gotten an official image, but we have gotten this image. So I'll pull it up here. This is Ultraman. Okay. So
yeah,
Ultraman in the comics.
And that's Frank Grillo.
Yeah, Rick
That's
Flag.
Flag
Yeah.
And then that girl's like the engineer, who's a character I don't even know.
So hang on, wow, this is getting out of control here. So that's Ultraman. What I wanted to show is a little bit of his history in the comics. Now, in the comics, Ultraman is, hang on, I have these pictures pulled. I just got to find it and make sure it's,
Fun fact
right
also,
one.
the lens they're using for this film is 3 lenses in one, so they can switch to different types. And that's why I love the shot of Nicholas Hoult when Superman flies by and he turns around. I'm like, dude, you look huge. But there's 2 other shots where it's like a wide angle shot of Nicholas Hoult. I'm like, ooh, that like, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah, for sure.
so
I also remember, as a side fun fact, being a child, of course, in 1969. Actually, it was 1964. I went to the drugstore and picked up the Justice League of America issue 29, and that's where we first see this character. Just an aside, just nothing big, just an aside.
So basically, in the comics, Ultraman is the Superman of Earth 2. And now and now that Earth is now Earth 3 after the reorganization after the last crisis. So basically, he's part of the crime syndicate, is what they call themselves. It's Ultraman, Superwoman, Power Ring. I can't remember. I think he's Deathstorm in the back instead of Firestorm. And I believe they just call this the speedster Johnny Quick, and then Owlman instead of Batman. Now,
of course, yes.
Now the crime syndicate's deal. The crime syndicate's deal is they can't lose in their universe. Just like if they come over to our universe via multiversal travel, they always lose. And if our superheroes ever go to Earth 2, now Earth 3, they will lose because like that's just the way it works in the DCU. And he's just basically, they're all evil. They're the crime syndicate because they just fucking rule over the entire world. So what that says to me is that the Ultraman that we're getting in this movie is, I think it's too early for them to do multiversal crossover stuff. I don't think he's going to do that yet. But what he can do is this can be Luthor's first attempt at a clone of Superman. And what would happen to me, in my opinion, is they're going to fight throughout the movie, and he's going to break down. The clone's going to start to break down, and that's how we're going to get Bizarro. And
yeah, because you're right, because Bizarro used to be from a Bizarro world, and a lot of modern versions, he's just a failed clone. So they're probably just, because the show just did that with Bizarro. I can see them being like, let's do it, but just say it's Ultraman, just to make it different.
Not only that, but I think they can do down the road further evolution of the character, because if you look at this, look at his face mask right here, and I'm going to show you something else now. So that's the face mask of Ultraman, and now I'm going to show you guys the first appearance of, hang on, get the right share going here. So this is the first cover appearance of Doomsday. Tell me that those glasses and that eye doesn't look exactly the same as the Ultraman one here.
He also looks like the Incredible Hulk. I see the Hulk too. Where does he play?
Are you saying the Hulk's in this, Adam?
I think that's what I'm getting. I think
Holy
we're
shit.
get a Hulk appearance.
Which again, I know I had a lot of spoilers for the new TV show, but I think Bizarro also does turn into Doomsday. Maybe they were talking to each other.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. I think it does. Yeah. I haven't watched it, but yeah, I think you're right. That is what happens. Because it's supposed first they think it's Superman, and then it turns out he's Bizarro, and then he does slowly break down into Doomsday. So this could just be sort of a big. I forgot that they even did that. I didn't actually watch the show, but I heard
Twitter spoils everything. Yeah. So I feel like I've watched the goddamn show. Just being on Twitter the last 2 years.
So because I think it's too early for multiversal stuff. I don't like having to introduce Earth 2 or Earth 3 in this movie as well would be too much. So I think they'll probably at least go the Bizarro route, if not eventually turning him into to Doomsday. So yeah, that's my thoughts on him. Guy Gardner, the one thing I like about him being there and knowing that Gunn is going to do his own Batman is that eventually we'll get the one punch scene, where Guy Gardner's mouthing off and Batman knocks his ass out with one punch. And they refer to that moment for the next 20 years in the comics. Like, people always make fun of Guy. They just go one punch and he's always like, shut up and stuff. So so we'll get that, hopefully. I think Mr. Terrific looks incredible with his T-spheres, and he's so comic accurate, and what a cool representation, and then
Gunn's a geek, man.
Yeah.
He's a geek, and that's why this is going to be great, I think.
Exactly. Well, he's one of the smartest people in the DC universe as well.
Well, think about it this way too. We've never had like a legit, ever since Superman 2, we've never had a legit full Superman sequel. I don't think, have we? So Gunn, if this movie's a big hit, which I think it will be. Now, let me ask you this, Cecil, or any of you guys, if you know, does Gunn have plans for an actual, just straight up Superman sequel to this movie if it is a big hit?
I'm sure he does. Yeah, I don't know if he's mentioned publicly, but he has to. When he was coming up with the idea, I think so.
Like, I could get into a whole Superman, we talk multiverse and we talk, expanded universe and all that stuff with characters entering other characters' movies. But man, I could just go with just a straight up Superman, like, expanded universe with all the characters that he has.
What my sources are telling me, excuse me, what my sources are telling me is we are going to then transition seamlessly to a Batman v Superman sequel. They're going to introduce Batman into this one. Dawn of Justice, of course.
Of course.
I love bringing people together.
Well, I mean, that is something I was going to bring up later. The Supergirl movie, right? That's based on a series that came out 2 years ago, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, where she leaves Earth and goes on this whole space adventure. So that, is Gunn leaning too heavily into the super of it all right away? That was a question I was going to have for you guys. So we can get there, because I do want to talk about the casting there. But let's stick with this just a little bit longer. Hawkgirl can be really awesome. Guy Gardner could be fun. Mr. Terrific could be cool. I think it does make more sense that they will be used more sparsely, you know, like I think, they'll help take down the kaiju. And then that Mr. Terrific scene looks like something that could take place a little bit later in the movie. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just get them all at the beginning and then it becomes more of a traditional Superman movie. But I think obviously it's going to matter how it performs, but I think Gunn for sure has at least somewhat of a plan for where he could go next and what he wants to do and all that good stuff. So,
all your comic book nerdy shit aside, the only like him actually saving a kid in the trailer in that shot, that was what sold me on the whole damn thing. I'm like, finally, we get a freaking shot of him saving some people, doing it, and the kid holding up the flag, and like you said, whispering Superman. That's it. That's all I need. I'm good. Everything else is
Adam,
a cherry. Yeah.
So you're saying you don't like a Man of Steel when Zod threw an oil tanker at Superman, and instead of stopping it, he jumped over it and let it blow up a parking garage?
You don't have to answer that, Adam. You don't have to answer that.
You didn't like that?
He slowly pushes it towards a child's orphanage.
Literally, I sat there in the theater. I'm like, did he know? Was that garage empty? Does he know that? Why did he not just put his hands out and stop it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I know he's supposed to be new or whatever, but Superman, they've made it a point to show in the comics that when he's fighting, he literally will position himself in the air that if he gets hit, he's not going to blow through 14 skyscrapers on his way back. And it'll show him look behind him. Again, he's got telescopic fucking vision, so he can see pretty well where he's going to be if he gets hit. So he's constantly doing that shit. I guess maybe year one Superman might not, but I mean, Jesus Christ.
There was a deleted scene on Dawn of Justice where he's flying above that house where the family's like waving for help and they're like floating, and he throws a rocket on top of them. Cut that out though, because they thought it would be too much. Just too much.
Just a little too much.
Fuck you.
The expanded Dawn of Justice shows him actually helping after the Capitol bombing, but the theatrical cut, like everyone is blown up and they're burning, and he just flies away. And I'm like,
he's like smoking a cig on the remains.
So the fact that they actually had a scene and they were like, cut that out. I'm like, you're making him look so much worse.
But they leave in the scene where the suit is like squeaking when he's walking in the courtroom. You know, why?
All right. So any other final thoughts on the trailer before I get to one of my last questions here? All right.
Well, obviously they put Guardians of the from the director of Guardians of the Galaxy in the trailer because they're embarrassed about James Gunn's other work. No, that's my favorite thing. Like, they won't even say the DC stuff that he did. It's like, Guardians of the Galaxy was huge. What are you talking about? They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Also,
in the Suicide Squad, he probably would have used had it gotten a theatrical release and made a lot of money off of it. But it was day and day with HBO Max, so he couldn't.
That's my favorite thing. When they're like, that movie bombed, it's like, well, it was still like at the end of lockdown, and it was on Max at the same time. You can't, like, that doesn't count.
So silly.
That doesn't count. And it's a sequel to one of the worst movies ever, so people probably they probably thought it was going to suck also.
By the way, shout out to Frank Riker for his $10 super chat a while back. Superman is a comic character. By the way, what's up, Frank? Good to see you. Superman is a comic character and the GOAT. I don't understand why some want it to be less than what he is, than what he's supposed to be. He's the last character I want to be grounded, no pun intended, for the channel. So I appreciate that, sir. And it's funny because, in my opinion, one of the best Superman storylines that went a little off the rails towards the end was one called Grounded, where writer J. Michael Straczynski wrote a year where Superman decided to walk across the country and like just help people that way instead of flying.
Wow, that's cool.
So it was really interesting. It was a bunch of street level stories with Superman. Granted, it was the weird era where he was wearing jeans and a t-shirt like this with a cape coming out of it. But it was still an interesting approach to the story, and that's what excites me. Right, Gunn he knows that there are great Superman stories. He knows that he's supposed to be being a good person even in between his big adventures, and things like that. And one of the things I wanted to show too, that I think they're doing interesting things with the Clark versus Superman of it all, because Clark's hair looks like
broccoli.
crazy. Yeah, it's like but what I like is that they're really making him look different, and that's one of the things that All-Star Superman did. Frank Quitely was very, very specific in trying to make Clark look different from Superman, and I'll show you the example here. He showed this, where this is his version of Clark, right, where he's stumbly and everything, and this is the simple act of drawing him with different posture. Is like, how, okay, I see now, you know, Clark can be two different people, and it's not just the glasses, right? I mean, look at the hair difference, the slouching, the posturing, and the
I think giving him a British accent was a wise choice too. Really helps differentiate the two.
And he gave him a hair lip.
Yeah. So I you know, it's all interesting, you know, when they do it correctly, and it just feels like Gunn is tapping into the correct aspects of the character to make it really an interesting thing. So let's get back to what I was talking about before, the Supergirl movie. That's apparently the next thing coming, right? They're gonna do Creature Commando season 2, which awesome, I like that. But Supergirl is the first movie up, and Gunn has said there's no plans to do Flash. The biggest thing he's saying is we're not beholden to release dates. We're not going to start a movie until the script is where it needs to be, which is how it should be. And it's in stark difference to the news story that came out saying that Avengers Doomsday is supposed to be finished being written by March, and then they're going to go into production. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Wait until the script is where it's supposed to be. You know, that's what Feige did in the beginning, and then it became too much of a money train, and I think it's out of even his hands at this point. But I like that that's Gunn's methodology. I just don't know if it's too much super out of the gate and not enough other people. And also, I want to touch on the Matt Reeves Batman of it all with you guys too. But let's start with Supergirl here. One of the reasons I'm the most excited now is because we finally got confirmation that Jason Momoa is indeed going to be playing Lobo, which is very exciting.
Makes way more sense than Aquaman. Although I did like him as Aquaman, Lobo makes way more sense for Jason Momoa.
100%. So let me just share that for people too. This is Lobo, and this is Jason Momoa. I mean, he's really.
Wait, which one's which?
Jason's on the right, or
So that's the thing, and Momoa has even been on record for years saying his dream role would be Lobo. And like, there's all these people that are like, Gunn lied. He said that people can't play two roles. And it's like, no, he's not going to play two roles in the same universe. So that Snyderverse is done. He's Aquaman back there. He's not Aquaman here, which is great. Now we can maybe get a more traditional Aquaman. Although I think the Island Aquaman was kind of cool too, you know. But this is much more appropriate for Momoa, in my opinion. I couldn't think of an actor that would better portray Lobo.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not familiar with Lobo, he's essentially DC's Deadpool. He can regenerate from a drop of blood. He's the last Zarnian. That's what he's known as.
He killed his planet for a school project. He killed his entire planet and gave himself an A on the project.
And he's always been the adult character in DC. Like they got around it with the Comics Code for years by just having him say frag and bastitch instead of fucking bitch, you know. So you know, it's funny that way. But now that we're getting mature DC comics, they just put one out called Lobo Cancellation Special, and and he, you know, it went kind of full bore in the adult world and stuff. So it's he can be a real fun character. Putting him in a Supergirl movie, I mean, the story for the Supergirl movie is based on comics called Woman of Tomorrow, which like I said, is where she basically goes on a space adventure and ends up helping out a planet that is at war. And it's kind of weird because she ends up riding the space Pegasus at one point.
Oh my god!
But there is a bounty hunter in the comic, and they wanted it to be Lobo, but he was unavailable to be used by King, who's a fantastic writer. And so now the bounty hunter gets to be Lobo. So that's really, really exciting. So that aspect I'm pumped about, but I'm worried that some people might think it's too much super right out of the gate for the DCU. So what do you guys think?
If she's riding a space horse, is Will Ferrell going to be in that movie?
You know what's funny about Lobo? He loves space dolphins, so there's going to be some kind of. It's the only creature in the universe that he's very protective of. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, he's got,
I
like,
think
the
it's gonna be
space
one of
hog.
those things where he should have done Brave and the Bold next, just to go away from the Superverse for a bit and then do Supergirl. Look, I'm keen, absolutely. Like Millie Alcock, great. Like you said, Momoa is Lobo, but I don't know. Like, are people going to be too supered out? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to get
Well,
bums on seats no matter what.
We've never really gotten a lot of these characters. Like, yeah, in the TV shows, like the first season of Supergirl was great. The first season. So a lot of people like,
Well, don't
you know,
forget about the
Adam.
Helen Slater movie.
Yeah, oh god. Like Adam doesn't know a lot of these characters, even though he's been around since the 30s. Apparently, he read the first
I've read all
issue.
I have the first editions of all these comics. Yes,
He read Action Comics #1. And he went, nah, this isn't gonna take off. And
Yeah.
threw it in the trash.
He waited in line at the store when it was being sold.
Yeah.
Opening day.
So I feel like it's going to be fun for a lot of people to see because Superman does have interesting characters. They just never make it out of the cartoons and comics. They rarely make it into live action, and when they do, it's a low budget TV show. So I'm all on board to see all this stuff. I'm fine with them taking a break on Batman because there's 10 million Batman things
please.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with them building up to this universe's Batman.
I think Gunn knows what he's doing. I think there's a reason we have these eccentric characters in this first Superman movie, because if it's a big hit and people buy into the characters, which people that like James Gunn movies usually do buy into those characters, then that just kind of opens the floodgates for these side movies that come out with. Now, didn't you say Lobo's going to be in the movie with Supergirl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if this movie's a big hit, people buy into the characters. They okay, I know the flavor of character that James Gunn's using. They're gonna jump right over to that movie with Lobo. I mean, one of my best friends, actually, his favorite all time superhero character is Lobo. So I can imagine he must be just freaking over the moon about this.
I can
The idea of
guarantee you.
Lobo in a movie with Supergirl, just I want that.
Well,
I
and
want to see that immediately.
She's who he's hunting. Like the bounty hunter is after her, so he's going to be going after her the whole movie. They're going to have some kind of slugfest towards the end. We're going to see that he will get beaten badly and simply regenerate, and it'll end with him lighting his cigar and getting on his space hog and riding off, and Supergirl just letting him go, because that's the way every interaction with him and Superman has ever gone. They fight each other to a standstill, and then he leaves. By the way, really good. There was a 3-issue oversized magazine-sized Superman and Lobo comic that came out, written by Tim Seeley, who created Hack Slash. If you're familiar with comics at all, anyone watching, clearly you guys,
of course, yes, I've
completely
have the
blank-faced.
entire.
I
yeah,
actually, I've never read them, but somehow I've come into possession of a bunch of them.
Oh, it's cool.
So I
Hack
probably
Slash.
should-
Yeah, for anyone that don't know, Hack Slash is about a girl and her, big sort of deformed friend as they hunt down slashers, and they've crossed over with Chucky and a bunch of other people.
Hatchet. I have the Hatchet
Yeah,
ones
the
right
Hatchet.
there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a good comic. That Superman and Lobo comic is fun if you want to get an idea of their interactions. But yeah, I can guarantee you that Momoa will knock it so far out of the park, and it'll be entertaining enough that there will be a Lobo movie afterwards. If not a Lobo movie, then after Creature Commandos, who's to say they wouldn't do a Lobo animated series that's full adult and let Momoa voice it and stuff, So I think we're going to get more Lobo just because I know the character, and look at what happened with Deadpool.
You reckon
took off.
Corin Sweat will make an appearance in Supergirl?
I think they might do a bit of a handoff thing.
Definitely.
It'd be cool to see them together on screen.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to bring in a Supergirl and not touch on Superman. So I think she might actually show up at the end of Superman.
True.
Her ship might show up. She
Yeah.
she always arrives on Earth later and older. Because she's sent away in a rocket when she's older anyway. So by the time she arrives on Earth years later, she's about the same age as Superman. So I think that might be how they end it, is maybe the post-credit scene is her showing up and meeting him, and then they'll separate. Like maybe she'll be like, it might be as simple as she gets there and she's like, I want to go find our planet. She might not know that Krypton's gone, and so that's why
You should
she
probably
leaves
tell
Earth,
her. You should
Well,
probably tell her.
does he know? Like, we don't know in this universe if he's gotten the crystals that have explained his story
Yeah.
to him yet or not. So anyway, there's a lot of different ways, but I think if we're getting a Supergirl movie, there's no way they can't have her interact with Superman at some point. So
Real quick,
That would be like bringing back Han Solo and Leia and Luke and not having them interact ever. That would be insane. Who would do that?
real quick, Cecil, I have a question because it was a little confusing. What is the start of this new universe? People say it's Creature Commandos. People say it's going to be Superman, but I remember him saying, and I know Adam is very concerned about this.
Hang on.
Yeah, I know Adam is very concerned about this.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
is Blue Beetle in continuity? Because
Technically, Gunn said so, and he said
Yep.
that this would be the Jaime Reyes of the DCU.
Adam,
Beetle's not that
more
bad.
Blue Beetle, baby. It's
Tony,
canon.
guys, it's so hard for me to like keep my mouth shut at all. And so Tony totally ruined my joke. I was gonna say you guys are all like jerking off over Superman stuff when the original DCU character is gonna get his sequel, Blue Beetle.
Well, not only that, but they've already cast Booster Gold. Kumail Nanjiani is going to be playing Booster Gold in the DCU.
Oh fuck, that was real.
I think so.
Oh wow.
Oh, I'm out. Screw this whole universe. No, I love Booster Gold.
I do too.
And that is the worst casting decision
I am not a big fan of it
ever.
either.
And I'm not even talking about the race. It's
No.
because Kumail stopped being funny 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
So he's
Kumail's
going
very
to
forced.
ruin it.
Kumail's very forced.
Cancel
but
that movie
They can
right
do
now.
Booster Gold and Blue Beetle technically. I would much prefer the Ted Kord Blue Beetle, but that's just because
Yes.
I'm a comic guy.
Oh my god, I can't believe that better not be real. They better fix that.
Wait,
like,
what's
right
that? What's
now.
that actor's name again? I want to look
Kumail
him up. Hold on.
Nanjiani.
Yeah, let me see. Hold
He
on.
was.
I mean, he was like
had a
the
really
only-
good. He was the finger gun guy in Eternals, which you probably
yeah.
love, Lee.
Oh yeah. Okay. I thought that's who it was.
He
The
was
guy
like
that's
the
completely
only
ripped now.
he was the only funny character in that shitty Ghostbusters sequel.
Yeah, and that
Ghostbusters
was
is a
like
frozen
rare.
franchise.
He used to be really, really funny, and then he stopped being funny.
He was kind of funny in Eternals.
And
if
then he
I'm
got
being
on the
honest.
steroids.
How
I-
could you
I
remember?
forgot.
Wait. You remember a single thing that happened in Eternals? I don't.
That's
think
the
you
only
do.
thing I remember is him on the plane. That's it.
I did
You're
forget
like,
though.
wait, I was watching a different movie with him. It wasn't Eternals.
One thing I did want to bring up, now that we're getting Lobo, and now that this character has become more prominent via What If there is ever a crossover between DC and Marvel, we could get Lobo the Duck. So,
Oh shit.
I want that. I want Lobo the Duck.
Oh, is that
That's so James
amalgam?
Gunn.
that's one of the amalgam comics. Yeah. The original
That's
DC
awesome.
versus Marvel series resulted in two different lines of Marvel
Ugh.
comics. They did Spider Boy and all kinds of shit. But
Dark Claw was
Dark
Wolverine
Claw,
and Batman.
Wolverine and Batman. Yeah.
Fuck Howard the Duck. It's Lobo the Duck, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're gonna ruin Booster Gold. I cannot believe that is.
Yeah,
that
I
just
was
ruined my
bummed at
night.
that casting too, but
I hope
we'll
that's
see.
fake.
Like I'm gonna hold out hope, you know.
I hope that's fake.
Toronto Freddy, by the way, sent a $2 super chat. At least this crypto ain't a scam. Yeah, that'll produce the good kind of crypto bros, you know.
Hey, whoa! My
Sit on that
wallet
plane.
finally bounced back after 4 years. Be nice about crypto, okay?
Only
it was
took
pretty
4
bad
years
for a minute.
too. All right, so then I do want to pivot real quick. Considering what we're getting with Superman, and what we're probably going to be getting with Supergirl, do we think that the Reeves versus Batman should be folded in? And I'm going to start this and say fuck to the no. And I say that because Matt Reeves has already made his Batman very grounded. I think it's going to be tough to do anything super kind of supernatural in that and like too outlandish. I think personally, the best thing that he can do for his new Batman movie, I heard rumors of Clayface, but now we're getting, Clayface by Mike Flanagan instead, which I'm also very excited about. But I was struggling to see how they could do Clayface correctly in the Reeves Bat universe. I think the thing that would be the coolest, that would make the most sense, especially after the success of Penguin, just lean into the crime drama of it all and give me Scarface with Amygdala as his lead henchman and just take that directly from the Nightfall storyline. And I think that would be fucking awesome because, they could go a little weird, a little supernatural if the doll starts talking away from Wesker. Or what's his name? Is it Wesker? No, that I'm thinking Resident Evil.
Yeah,
It's close. It's Weskull or something like that. Anyway, so I think that would be the way to go with the Batman, because if you get into the Scarecrow or, they've already done lean into the Joker a little bit, and that's got to even be grounded. So I think putting that with the Superman universe, and people are saying, well, they could make it the prequel and they could age up Pattinson for that and have his villains be more colorful and stuff. I just don't think the universes would mesh. I think keep it as an Elseworld. That's my opinion. What about you guys?
I think we tie in Schumacher's Batman, Rogues Gallery, except for Joker, we take from the critically acclaimed, fan-loved Joker 2.
Yes.
We bring in Gaga. We bring in.
Well, that's why Clooney walked out the end of Flash.
Oh,
Yeah.
this isn't a serious
forgot about
conversation. There's no chance they're doing the Matt Reeves Batman in Superman. I don't think anybody thinks for a second that's going to happen.
And Cecil's right; it doesn't fit. It just feels like two completely different worlds.
I honestly would find if it was Robert Pattinson. He's like, I'm just a different Batman. I play both Batmans. In this Batman, I wear blue. And I
and the underwear.
Yeah, and
blue underwear on the outside of the black.
I wear my underwear on the outside, and Clayface is a mud man. In the other Batman, I wear gray, and Clayface is probably going to be, I don't know, like a sad guy who goes like this.
The other Batman, I'm the Crow, and I'm angsty and emo.
Yeah.
People love it.
By the way, Clayface, speaking of, if you haven't seen Creature Commandos yet, really, really cool Clayface scene that has an homage to Bane, a very big Bane scene that was really fucking cool. And the interesting thing is Alan Tudyk, who plays Clayface in the Harley Quinn show in
also
a very funny way, he also played Clayface in Creature Commandos as well as the Radioactive Man. He plays him too. And so I love that little bit of a tie-in there. So if you haven't watched Creature Commandos, I definitely recommend it.
I'm starting it actually tomorrow. So
yeah, it's definitely.
I just finished The Penguin and it was fantastic.
It was good.
I'm gonna go to Creature Commandos next.
Chris, what do you think about the Pattinson verse?
Keep it separated, man. Like you said, and
Just like the Offspring
Adam, like
says.
what you said. You've just finished The Penguin. Just stick with the crime, gritty Scarface, Goodfellas approach to Batman.
Yeah.
Pattinson, it would not gel well at all. It'd be cool to see, visually, that'd be great. But no, they're just Matt Reeves is committed to something that you can't meddle with. It's an Elseworlds kind of thing. And remember at one point, it's like, oh, does this mean Pattinson's going to square up against Joaquin Phoenix? And is he going to do a musical number with Joaquin and Gaga? Who knows? But no, dude, keep it separate.
It just occurred to me while you were talking, if we keep it in the crime area, I'm like, what really can they do? Not only can we do a Scarface movie, but the fucking third movie or even the second movie, they could actually do a live action Phantasm. That'd be fucking sick. Because that's directly crime family stuff in the Bat universe. Oh, how cool would that be to finally see a live action Phantasm? Because he's not, he's no more supernatural than Batman, except he uses, more smoke pellets and voice changes and stuff like that. And the fact that it turns out to be a female at the end is so fucking cool. Like, they finally brought back the Phantasm in the comics like a year ago in a sequel storyline that was so fucking cool. And if Reeves keeps it in that pocket, then fucking do the Phantasm live action.
Is there any version? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, he needs to commit to the trilogy where you see Pattinson's arc, especially as Bruce. He's emo in the Batman. I want to see him by the third one be the Playboy. He's come full circle.
Or even the second one, he becomes the Playboy. And the third one, he falls in love with the girl that ends up being the Phantasm. And he has to pull back. Oh, maybe romance isn't for me kind of thing if I'm going to be the Batman sort of thing.
So you're the reason why it's delayed until a couple of years' time.
If only I could consult on that script. God damn.
I just assumed it was delayed because Reeves is still going through the Fincher catalog and deciding which movie to rip off next. Because he already did 7. Is there a version of Batman where he has split personality? Because then we could do Fight Club for the next Batman.
Actually, the most recent storyline is all about the fact that so what happened is Batman has trained himself so that if anything ever happens to him, he has an alternate personality called Zur-En-Arr.
That used to be an alien Batman in the old comics.
But basically, it's this failsafe Batman that runs his body when he can't, and he's a lot more brutal and shit like that. And the whole storyline was he had to figure out, because Zur-En-Arr locked him in where Batman usually keeps him locked away in his brain, and so Zur-En-Arr was controlling his body for a long time. So yeah, technically he has a whole nother personality that actually this character they used Ducard, I think, from the Batman Begins movie. you know,
Yeah.
the one that trained him. I think they said Ducard trained him to create this personality as well. So they could fucking do that shit. So
Let's do it. Yeah, Catwoman can be Marlene or whatever, the love interest, and fuck him up in the head, and yeah, it works.
Is Matt Reeves' Batman like you guys' favorite? Because I think it might be my favorite Batman movie now.
No.
I think it's the most
way too long and boring, and
Very
not,
long and
not
boring.
nearly enough.
Yep.
I
Batman.
love it.
Way too much walking.
It is. I really liked it. It's probably the most accurate, but I agree it's way too long. It could have that movie did not need to be as long as it was. It could have told the same story in a smaller amount of time and sped things up.
And I had little issues like the mayor getting shot and then walking through dirty fucking water waist high and having no problems after being shot.
But then I really like Penguin, so it got me more excited for the universe.
that's
So
the thing.
I
hopefully the
love
next
the Riddler
one's not-
too. I thought Paul Dano was great.
Yeah, no,
He was good,
yeah, he was fine. But I'm saying like the Penguin
Hashtag not
show
like
was
Riddler.
really good.
Yeah.
But I think
Jim
we all
Carrey.
agree. I think we can all agree
You set
that
me up for that one, Steve.
the Batman villain we want to see most is definitely Crazy Quill, and I know Adam can't stop himself. He's like, yes, Crazy Quill from 1946.
Yeah.
The 15th, the 15th issue of Boy Commandos. It's Adam's favorite comic. He
I
read it in
like
1946.
Condiment King, who just has
Yeah, Condiment
a
King.
gun of mustard and ketchup.
Yes. Well, he is in the Lego Batman. They have a lot of those characters.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so great about that fucking
Actually, that's the
montage.
best Batman, the Lego Batman.
That was really good. It was
Yes.
really,
Wait, real
really
quick. One of
fun.
my favorite Batman comics is Batman wakes up in an ill-fitting suit and he has amnesia. And he's trying to beat up criminals, and they're just kicking his ass because he has a concussion. And at the end, you find out it's not Batman. It's a guy who was role playing with his wife and fell out the window.
Oh,
And at the end, like he manages to actually beat up some bad guys because he woke up in the Batman suit and went, "I'm Batman. I guess I got to do some Batman stuff."
Yeah.
It's the weirdest comic, and I'm like, I would love to see an episode of a TV show.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
why do I see that being an animated Batman series episode? It just
That would be
feels
great.
weird.
It's
Yeah,
one of my
it'd be great.
favorite comics. I'm like, this is such a weird issue to put
Didn't
out.
they
You know
do
what?
something
Was that called,
kinda
was
like
called
that?
Batman? Was that called Batman's Secret Identity? Because they did one called Superman's Secret Identity. It was a 4-issue series about the real world where a guy that was born, his parents love Superman. They name him Clark Kent. He grows up, actually marries a girl named Lois Lane, and at some point, he actually develops the powers of Superman and starts to use them in the real
Oh, this
world.
was different. This was like included in like the Batman Begins novelization. Like
Oh, okay.
it was like an adaptation of the comic, and then they threw in like 3 extra comics at the end, and one of them was the weird sex role play comic. I'm like, that feels very inappropriate to put in this book that kids are probably buying. But
Chris,
definitely
I
just
got
wanna see
a
that in a
question for
movie.
Chris. When you put on your Batman cosplay, isn't there a small percentage of you that wants to fight crime and beat the shit out of somebody?
100%, man. But then I can't even sit down in the fucking thing. How am I supposed to like
Can't take a
judo
piss.
chop someone? Yeah. 100%. Yeah, look, you put me on like a Hannibal Lecter wheelie gurney thing.
Just wheel you
I'll
out.
kick your ass, man. It's over.
Just throw your
That's
cape
like-
at them.
That's my favorite thing about making superheroes like realistic. If you ever see like real fights and stuff, it's like everyone's face would be swollen by the end of this movie. Like Batman, his head would swell inside his mask and he would die. So
Yeah,
they're always
yeah.
like hitting him with pipes, and he's like, "And now I'm gonna go fight Bane." It's like, you're not doing shit. You're gonna sit down and bleed eternally.
So I did want to just show something that I kind of made recently, but I can't find it. So guess what? I'm not going to. Lee, since you kind of asked, I did want to say my personal favorite Batman movie and my favorite Batman is Mask of the Phantasm, and of course the Mark Hamill and the late great Kevin Conroy, I think, are the best people to portray those roles. But yeah, I always like Mask of the Phantasm the best out of everything.
I've never seen it, so don't spoil it. I still need to watch it.
It's fucking great.
Really good, man.
Holds
Really?
up.
I know,
You
I've
read
heard-
Boy Commandos, the first appearance of Crazy Quill in 1946, but you still haven't seen Mask of the Phantasm.
Did you guys like Under the Red Hood?
I love
Yeah, that
it.
was a good one. That was a good one.
That story in the comics
I like
is
that
way
one.
crazier. Like it.
Oh
it
yeah,
really-
because it's like I like what the movie did to simplify it.
Yeah.
The comic version is ridiculous.
Yeah, the comic version, yeah, it's more tied into the Hush storyline and stuff that we got. But anyway, the end is still crazy because Batman like like hurts Red Hood and like almost kills him in order to stop him instead of just like walking away. So it gets crazy. But so last, let me just ask, what do you guys think of the fact that they're going to be leaning into the Clayface movie now? Because apparently the script, they're like, how is Clayface movie coming so quick? He's like, Flanagan's script was ready. Like, it's good to go. So we're leaning into it.
Wait, real quick. Is Clayface in the Reeves verse, or is it another one of its own things?
No, it's part of the DCU.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is going to be the big mud one from Creature Commandos. Oh, cool.
Okay.
Then yeah,
I thought it was a show. It's going to be a movie.
Yeah,
I thought he's in the Batman too, but like I think that's going to be like a disgruntled.
No,
actor,
I think that was the plan. I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think that's why there has to be more time. They have to rejigger the script now.
No.
Mr. Freeze is going to be in Batman too. That's what I want.
Oh, I hope so.
And I want Arnold.
Yeah, it's got to be Arnold. There's no other phrase.
I forgot.
I mean,
you're right, Tony.
like
It would have to
Flanagan.
be the one from the show, which is kind of tough to do where the show left him. But if it is part, maybe it's going to be an Elseworld. He hasn't specified, so maybe this Clayface will be an.
Yeah, I
Elseworld
need to know
too.
more information, like, because there's two types of Clayface. There's the actor who could just change his face, and then there's big mud monsters.
Yeah.
Mud
So
Monster is the best.
yeah, mud monster is
Well, they
what
made them
everyone
both
wants
in the
to
show.
see.
I like the actor one, but the actor one became the Mud Monster too.
Well,
in the
but I mean,
comics,
he
so.
always is an actor, but the old Clayface was like, I'm going to do this, and now I'm a different person.
Oh yeah.
The cartoon is the one where he's like, now he's the Hulk. He can still
Yeah.
look like a regular person, but he can also turn into a mud hole.
Dude, I have an awesome idea for a Clayface story where he just like leaves little bits of clay, like tricks people into ingesting little bits of clay, and like he's able to like all the clay he controls and travels up to their brain, and then he just uses them all as his zombies and stuff to fight.
That's
Batman.
fucked up.
That is cool.
So yeah, I think that'd be a really cool story. But anyway, so there we go, guys. I think we've kind of thoroughly covered what we know about the DCU right now and everything that Gunn is bringing to it. I think we're all in pretty much agreement that we're at least interested and excited to see what's coming. We'll have to wait and see how we feel afterwards. But it sounds like we're all encouraged. Am I wrong? Am I misrepresenting anyone?
Oh, definitely.
Hey.
I'm in.
Cool. All right. Well, any final thoughts on the subject before I cut you all loose?
I have a final thought about, because Adam brought up Mr. Freeze and we're joking about Schwarzenegger, but honestly, thinking about Riddler and what, Jim Carrey, and then they give us a Paul Dano Riddler that's like the opposite, but it was totally freaking awesome. Just if you want something dark. I think that would be really cool if they did that with Mr. Freeze. Like,
Oh
in
yeah,
the
no,
next,
I'm not
Matt
joking
Reeves.
about that. I think it would be badass to have like
It
a
would,
frozen
yeah.
version of Gotham with the snowfall.
Oh my God, it'd be
But you don't
amazing.
think it's too grounded to do the freeze gun in the Reeves universe?
You can
Yeah.
figure out a way
Figure
around
out
it.
a way.
Yeah, they can figure it out. If Nolan can
I think
do
he
it with
rides that
with
line,
Bane,
man.
then they can do it. Yeah.
I think even like old Arnold with the writing of how Freeze was in Arkham City.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the Arkham City stuff. Well, I mean, they
Dude,
they
yeah.
took a lot of the Paul Dini stuff from the comic and the show to fold into that Arkham arc. The whole Nora of it all. His story is so tragic. I mean,
It is. Yeah.
it's really fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. He rides that line of too comic-y for the Reeves verse, in my opinion.
I'm the opposite. Go to old school Mr. Freeze when he was Mr. Zero. He's an angry Russian guy and he makes jokes and he's covered in glitter. I want that. I want that in the Matt Reeves universe. I want him to stand out like a sore thumb.
Sparkles?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. Thank you to you gentlemen for joining me for this. I appreciate it. Had a good time. Maybe after the movie we should reconvene and see.
Debrief.
what we thought.
Definitely.
I think
Debrief.
For
that'd
sure.
be fun.
Yeah, debrief. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you once again. Again, guys, I have the links in the original stream that's probably down right now. I got to go fight it. I'll make sure and put the links to all these gentlemen's channel in the description of this one as well. But yeah, make sure you go give them all a follow. You got Drum Dums, you got Hack the Movies, you got Adam Does Movies, and then of course you've got Chris Stanley Official. And I appreciate all of you guys for joining me tonight.
Hey, are
Awesome.
any of you guys
Thank you.
going to MegaCon?
I wish.
No.
I wish.
Yeah, I was not planning on going, but I decided my buddy is coming in. He wanted to see me, and I'm like, well, fuck, if you're gonna come in, February, let's just go to MegaCon. So I'm gonna be there for all 4 days. It would be awesome if some of you could make it, but if not, I guess maybe we'll try to meet up in real life in the future.
Well,
I actually
Adam,
live in Orlando, so I might actually pop in there. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on, guys.
in February, I will be in Los Angeles Yeah, I booked that trip at the perfect time.
Ooh,
So if you're in Los Angeles, February 6th to 9th, I'll be around. You can say
It's
hi.
gonna be
to
like
me.
the beginning of 28 days later when you get there. Just so you know.
Really, I literally like I've been meaning to do this trip forever, and then like I bought the ticket, and like 2 days later that all happened, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like,
I'm sure-
okay.
Look, I don't keep up much on what happens in California. I heard the Palisades is beautiful, so visit there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very nice.
Well, I saw that James Woods' mansion is somehow the only thing standing in the area. Like, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
He cried. He cried about losing his house. He said, "You're swimming one day, and then the next day."
But no, just today he said it's still.
Oh, really? Oh, so he cried. He cried online for nothing.
Yeah, he drove
Classic
there
James
today, and he's
Woods.
like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
my place is still here."
What?
Okay.
That's
Everybody
gotta be
else
awkward
is
if,
just like ashes
you're
around.
the
God,
only-
it's just,
if you're like the one house that didn't get, and then you got to feel like weird about it, like
Yeah. Sorry.
I saw a news story where a guy was crying because he's like, "My home survived, but I'm the only one, and why me?" I'm like, "Wait, what?
What?
Why me is usually the other
Survivor's
people."
guilt.
Yeah.
the rapture came, and I was ascending to heaven, but no one else was. Well, sorry.
Going to hell.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. I've almost taken up 2 hours of it already, so I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Sorry I didn't get to read a lot of comments, but you know, we were deep in discussions here. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, guys, I've been Cecil Laird, and remember, stay scared.
Thanks, guys.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I didn't mention that I was in the Dark Knight Rises once this whole stream.
That's amazing.
God damn it.
Well, it's a good thing I am